Hello everyone, this is Hyperspace Cube, Yodakiller here, and I wanted to make this video to chat a little bit about this Boba Red deck that I played to top 8 the Chicago PQ. I wanted to share a little recap and then do a little deck tech on it. I truly do believe this is the dark horse of the meta. This deck is really, really good, really powerful, and I think that if you have showdowns and PQs left, this season 0 that you should consider playing this deck. This is the list that I used to top 8. And first, I want to give a big shout out to Linkit. He created this deck. He went 6-1 in a store showdown in Sao Paulo, Brazil. I'll link his SoonDB link in the description below, but gave a lot of great tips and learned a lot from him. So, obrigado, and thank you very much for creating this powerful deck. This is also his Discord name if you want to reach out to him. Went 6-1 throughout the day. I also was on the feature camera stream. It was streamed by Late Night Gaming and Take the Initiative. First round, I played a blue yellow Iden deck that I won 2-0. From there, I played a Boba or a Blue Han deck, Blue Han 2, 1-1. I won 2-0 against Boba Green, 30 base. This was the round 4 was on stream. That was 2-0 against Blue Ray, Ray Red, Turkentown. Round 5, which is a nail biter every single game, was against Cad Bane, Red, who's similarly trying to do the same thing this deck is. Round 6, a very 2-1 close match on the third game. Was against Han Green. That was just very difficult to deal with. And then round 7, I beat Rebel Resource to secure my top 8, which he was on Yellow Sabine. And then I lost in the quarterfinals to Buddy Derek, a local player, on Boba Yellow. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do a little breakdown of the deck. So basically, the deck really has a certain game plan. I just call this the ground plan, and this is you're just playing only 9 units. You're very light on units, but they're very effective. I think there are times where you can really start the game putting a lot of pressure, and you kind of, depending on if you have the initiative or not, if they start space, then you can have a plan to put down 2-3-1s. And I think right there you already started to be super aggressive and going to pile on damage very quickly. The third, which is the reason why I really love this deck in the meta right now, is ISB Agent. When played, you may reveal an event from your hand, and if you do, you deal 1 damage to a unit. To touch a little bit more about it, there's a combo you can do with ISB Agent, and that is just to reveal an event. You can play it for 1, then you can use Tarkentown to kill the unit, untap your resource with Boba, and now you have 2 resources, and you can play, ideally, a 3-2 ship, or follow up with another 1-drop. Uh, at any point in the game as well, these do become, if you can kill a unit, they become basically a free resource because of Boba's ability. So there are times in the match where you're playing against an aggro deck, and they go space and they play a wing. You play an ISB agent, you kill it, you kill their tempo, you stop them from doing wing leader or doing fleet lieutenant next turn, and then you're able to begin the shift the aggression your way. So this is a very key unit to the deck. Yeah, and it's been an all-star. Then you have the space plan, and you have some really aggressive starts. You really also too are looking for hands where you want to start with a mercenary gunship or a Kylos high silencer. They're 3 power, and you're already immediately starting to hit the damage. Cartel Spacer is a great to hold against Sabine, or to at least stem the bleeding for certain races in matches. 7 Fleet Defender is a very difficult unit to deal with the shield. Very important card. punishing 1/2. I noticed a lot of decks cannot deal with a ship with that 4 power. Its ability wasn't really relevant at all. But I did like the stat of just having a 3 power 3/4. And of course, MVP Disabling Fang Fighter, super relevant right now to be able to defeat upgrades. Um, Especially like if you're playing Sabine, or of course if you're playing against Boba Green with Boba's armor, having an answer in the main deck to stem the bleeding from that card, super helpful. Um, I also think too that if you don't have like an upgrade or you just have this in your hand, it's okay to just play it for 3. It's still a 3/2. Lurking Tank Phantom, great killer into control. This was an MVP against Cad Bane Red because all I wanted to do was mulligan for it, just so that I could basically turn off Cad Bane's ping ability. And then these two are your end game, and that's Ruthless Raider. A card that just many decks just cannot deal with a stat line of 4/6. Can't be taken down. Can't be felled the dragon. Um, this is a card that as someone who loves playing Control and Kira Green, I hate to see this card. And I appreciated the fact that, when I was playing it, I understood why it's so good. And then the good old trusty Fet's Fire Spray. 5 power, comes in ready. Yeah, just an amazing card. Now, um, I do think there are, in a perfect start to space, you definitely want to see one of these two, and then at least a 3-drop. If it's early, I would probably resource one of these 2/6 drops. You sometimes find yourself just with a handful of these at the end of the game. Okay, talk about the events. Force Choke, I only played 2 of, but I definitely think 3 is important. It's just hard to kind of fit everything together. But it's great to take out Sabine, especially right on the deploy, or to take out an annoying unit that's standing in your way. Maybe that's going to restore, like Kanan is a good one, and turns off the ability for them to force throw. No Good to Me Dead, MVP. You always want to keep this card against any Boba leaders. Array as well to stop the restore. Any problematic cards. The Price Stark just to give you more reach, and then Waylay to bounce those all important Sentinel units that are in your way. One event that I want to talk about specifically, I called it the heartbeat of the deck, and that's Triple Dark Raid. This card is busted. It's absurd. Basically, you search the top 7 cards of your deck for a vehicle and you play it. It costs 5 less and enter play ready, and return it to its owner's hand at the end of the phase. So when you have 4 resources up, you can play Triple Dark Raid for 3 and use the remaining 1 resource to play a Ruthless Raider or a Fet's Fire Spray. And that is just a lot of damage and a lot of pressure. And the good thing is it goes back into your hand. So if you haven't used Tarkin Town, you can get Ruthless Raider. You can put 2 damage on a unit. Then you can Tarkin Town it, and then you can go ahead and do 4 damage. And the good thing is, it's a threat for later in the game because it's in your hand. Yeah, this one, this card won me so many matches. But even if I don't draw it, the deck is still super powerful. So I'm not to say to mulligan for it, but do keep a hand that is optimal for play. I'm gonna go a little sideboard guide against Sabine. I took out a punishing 1. I just brought in a Fang Fighter. You are very favored against aggro decks and Sabine decks. So not too many changes you really need to make. You are faster, and you're able to deal with Dark Sabers and Sabines rather well. Especially because of Target Town, and especially too because of your ISB Agent Darren Raids. Blue Boss. My sideboard is really heavily teched against Control. I never got to see Boss because they were at the bottom of the table. But if you do or see a Control deck in general, I definitely like to take out Greedos and Death Stars. They just die too easily to Boss's ping, and it's an easy target for them to put a top target or a death mark, especially because of the 1 defense. I don't like Mercenary Gunship because later in the game, their bad draws is the control players just has so many resources that they could easily just take it from you. And I cut it and I go to me dead. Nothing, not a lot of units I really do want to tap down. Bazine just to maybe on the 7th resources to try to get Snoke before that comes down, or just some kind of an event like Vigilance or make an opening. Wolf is great to stop any life gain. I'm really looking forward to set 3 to get that ship that says bases can't be healed, because this does require you to attack with it in order to get it after you've already played it. Fang Fighter, another one comes in. Those are going to be great to just get off all of the upgrades. Confiscate is also great just to knock off more of those. I think I remember I had a great situation against a control deck round 1 where in the second match he had entrenched my Phantom, my Lurking Tie Phantom, and I was able to confiscate it and then do 4 damage. And of course, Change of Heart, which is great just to be able to deal with a big ship or big unit if they play it, and you can take initiative and basically steal it. Boba Green, you have a very favorable Boba Green matchup as well. If they're on the 30 base, then I'll take out my 1 drops here because of Salacious Crumb, just being able to bounce himself and then kill my unit. Same thing with, they also have a combo as well with McClunky. And they always seem to have the Bazine too, so always try to keep a hand which you're not relying just on 1 2-drop, but you have multiple options. Disabling Fang Fighters to get those Boba Fett's armor, and then Change of Heart too if it goes really late. You can get them all, or hopefully you can beat them by then if they put reinforcement walking and get that. Yeah, these are a tough match, but I think the Wolf does help this matchup. Bazine and Fang Fighter. Depending on which one you're facing, like they might be playing top target in the sideboard. I would also put that in, put the confiscates in, and the Change of Heart in. It depends on what you see game 1, if they're playing make an opening or not. But technically, though, you just want to keep the force units off and the restore units out, and try to know good to be dead. Save 1 for the Ray flip. You also they damage themselves, so be kind of a little bit wise with the Tarkin Town, and be able to kill an important unit that they play. Even if they get to like the loop turn, you can still win through that. You see my future match against Red Ray, where even fighting through Luke and Ray, I was able to at least still do exact damage. All right, we'll talk about Boba Yellow, which is really your worst matchup. Maybe we're talking about it a lot to test this matchup, but it's just a bad matchup overall. They have about 12 bounce units, and I think you might have to be the control in this matchup just on the ground. Trade a little bit and then try to use your space to defeat them. They always seem to have Bodhi, so I tend to I'll keep the triple dark red if I don't have a strong hand, but I don't rely on it. I resource it just so that Bodhi doesn't hit anything. I was thinking about outmaneuver just to tap down their ground. That's something that I'm still trying to figure out what's the best option. If maybe Gamorrean Guards is better answer, just to slow them down. But you have a 25-point health base. They have a 30. They have Cunning. They have Waylay. They have No Good Me Dead. It's bad. I think I remember in my game 1 in the quarterfinals, I ended up losing 25 to 22. I had initiative. My opponent was at 23 life, actually, and I was at 22. And I took initiative. I had the surprise strike in hand, ready for lethal with my Ruthless Raider, and they ended up just bouncing the Ruthless Raider, and I had no out. Basically, I can only do 6 damage, and I needed 10. Should you play this at your next PQ? 100%. I think this deck goes really well into this meta. If you're not expecting a lot of Boba Yellow, but you are expecting Boba Green, take this. Get reps with it. I think it's super powerful, um, and you play very very well. There's a good chance you're going to top 8 or take this thing down. I want to give a big shout out to Pastime Games, my local game store. They had, without a doubt, the best price support this planetary qualifier season 0. For my finish, I got a showcase Bosk alongside the 2 Dr. Evazan. I mean, some people got other, I mean, the pricing was ridiculous. There was hyperspace foils given out. There was packs given out. I mean, everybody who had played and participated got at least a pack. Um, but I mean, I rather have like a showcase like this, which is incredible. So shout out to them for putting such a great tournament as always. Shout out to Ron, who's a great tournament organizer. So if you ever see Pastimes games, make sure to attend the next time because they're great. So if you have any more questions, you can ask me on Discord, or you can also reach out to me on YouTube here. Good luck, and yeah, definitely crush with Boba because you're not gonna regret it. It's amazing. Take care.